It's Bootie Brown from the Pharcyde, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it was a thing where I woke up and was like, I want to be a hip-hop person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be hip-hop. I think, I was dancing for a while, doing a couple of things. But I think, the inspiration of music in general came through my parents for sure. My dad always had a record collection. And used to have one of those stereos, those fancy stereos. I don't know if my dad was one of those guys had the fancy stereos. Be like, don't touch that. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch my stereo. I can do everything. Don't touch stereo. And that was just one of the things to do. It was like, you're a kid, so that was the thing to do. It was touch the stereo, you know what I'm saying? So he had all the records, the Joe Samples, Chick Corea. And I would just vibe out and listen to all the different, just the different music and just all that kind of stuff. And it never really hit me just listening to the music that then. I just enjoyed the music and just kind of like, kept it in. I guess it was just all up in here. And then once, started rapping and doing that kind of stuff, it's like all of it, like it was like a big resurgence of everything that was from the past, of all the record playing and being with my parents at the barbecues and stuff like that. Just all of a sudden, just like whoosh back into the whole perspective. Like, wow, this is like almost a preparation for what I was about to do, It's kind of, that's how I think my life is kind of, it's just been like a sort of a preparation where it's just certain things that I don't know that I'm doing. I can't explain why I'm doing it, or it happened in my lifetime and it's just like it doesn't make any sense at the time while you're doing it. But then at a certain time, it just comes into the reason why you're supposed to be doing it. So I think that's kind of, and it's just, and then like I said, that's just my inspiration, parents and, kids, life, all that. I mean, well, like in Pasadena, I was going to school, was like the school dance, was like the dance during the pep rallies, Friday, the big dance. And it was like, at that time, it would be like club owners. Uncle Jam's Army was like one of the clubs, like used to do some stuff, and they would come by and had a DJ come to the school, and DJ would play and be like, yo, you gonna go to the club tonight, gonna go to, and so that was like, just like, that anticipation of just like going to hear the music in this environment of like, you're going to see all these other people that enjoy the same type of music. And, I guess at a certain time, it not that it was an outcast music, but it was a music for the kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else kind of really got into it at the time when we were getting to it. It was kind of new in some sort of sense. So it was kind of like like a punk rock scene, like, yeah, I'm going to listen to this music nobody really else likes except for me and my people over here or whatever, Seeing the girls, like, oh, yeah, the girls, yeah, Of course, the girls is always the inspiration to everything, you know what I'm saying? It's the inspiration to the big car, the inspiration to make those fat tracks, It always breaks down to that. When you kind of get comfy in a certain lifestyle, coming from an old school, coming from the way that it was, the comfy deals, all that kind of stuff, you get all whatever. I think that we just got comfortable in the way that things were, And to just have something change, it's just, you either going to adjust or you're going to bitch about it, or you're going to do both. You can adjust and bitch about it at the same time, too. But I think that's what we have as far as like on the old school side, like a lot of guys, they can't really adjust to the way shit is done, like faster, this, no money, this way, Trying to do something new. I think like people just don't want to do anything new. Like the old school head want to do things the same. And I think the inspiration is to try to find that new ground of where hip hop maybe hasn't gone or something that hasn't been attempted, And I think that's where I try to find my inspiration and just try to break a new ground, trying to find something different. Like, well, I don't think hip-hop really did this, or I don't know too many people who's really done that. Let me just try to attempt that. And maybe it may be a failed attempt. It may not come out the way that it's supposed to come out or the way that I envisioned it to come out. But that's just the inspiration that keeps me going, because I want to just try to keep on and maybe eventually get to that day where somebody else says, man, I've noticed that you've been trying to do that. And then it's like, damn, somebody really, somebody has finally witnessed that what I've been trying to get across, you know. And I think that's the inspiration, is to try to break that ground and somebody see something new, other than just doing something regular and just trying to be big man on campus, you know. For us, it was more or less perspective, our everyday perspective in life. Like, you know, like what you do for real, what you do for real today. Like, I know in your mind you may have sold 10 pounds of coke, and you probably vision and dreamed that you sold that today. But what did you really do today? You know, did you just go to McDonald's and get a bad fillet of fish and get chased by? And I just think that was like our thing, was just like, let's just express us. And there was 4 different people, so you had 4 different ways of that it was being expressed, you know. With 4 people, you had enough kind of variables to maybe somebody, you know, you got 1 out of 4 chances to hit somebody who's probably been through or experienced something that person has been through in a certain way throughout that day. So that's just what it was. I think it was just us. It was pretty much, we just wanted to give you people us. We didn't really want to give people too much more than that. Just, this is what we do. This is how we get through our day. You know, it's probably the same shit you do. It's kind of funny, you know. I think the biggest challenge is basically you run into people just telling you can't. I think that's the biggest challenge, and just to understand that, you know, you can if you. It may take a lot of preparation, and you may fail. You may fail drastically the first time. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's about saying, you know, basically saying you can. Like, I mean, record companies, this person, this song, this may not happen. You know, you'll never be. You know, and then having patience, and patience is a big thing too. So, I mean, I always say there's like the 3 P's that you got to concentrate on, and that's like preparation, professionalism, and practice, kind of, sort of. Practice. I think it was kind of like the 3 P's. And basically it's kind of a thing of like, you need these things because it kind of like helps you to understand. You can get there but not know what to do with it, you know what I'm saying? And I think that you have to kind of know. That's the preparation stages. And then once you get there, you got to practice your professionalism, as far as being on time, or doing this, or doing the radio. Things that you thought were so lovely is not so lovely anymore, to wake up and have to be at the radio station at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? You just got to have some practices. You gotta have like some goals, and when you set your goals, you got to have like some regulations within yourself to kind of say, you know, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to finish, and once you do that, you know, completion is the best thing ever. I think I would want people to say that here's a person that displayed an honest version. I guess an honest version of coming at the game, of you know, whether if he was at the top, whether he was at the bottom, whether he was this way, whether if I met him on the street, man, you know, always want to come across as a personal person, like an honest person. I never want to be like that dick dude that, you know, that just, man, don't talk to me. Like I don't get it. I don't see how people can be like that into the game, because people buy your records. Like, you need the support of people. Like, how can you be a dick to people and need their support at the same time? So it kind of blows my mind how people are like that, or think of people as fans. You can step up to me and say, "What's up, Brown?" And then, you know, it's all good. But, you know, if I go on the stage, I do my thing the way I do my thing. If I go on the, you know, in the studio, I do my thing the way I do my thing, you know, and just let that resonate how it does.